Well, hello from North Carolina. We're going to do a tutorial from beginning to finish for a flight from LAX, Los Angeles to Edwards Air Base, which is KEDW, K Edwards. And so I'm going to run through setting up the flight plan first and a couple of tips to show you how you can customize your flight plan for your that particular flight. So um, I'm just running on a HP laptop, and I just thought it'd be interesting to show everybody how I've got the graphics running right now. Let's see, where's my cursor? Okay, so here I am at 1360 by 768, and I have never changed the frame rate, and I don't see any reason to now. And I'm using this. I've only just yesterday actually changed this to the anisotropic, and I think it's a little better looking than it started with. It was then bilinear. And I think it's a little better looking, and so the global texture very high. Um, here's my scenery page. So this is just a laptop. No, I don't have any kind of cards or anything. And generally, I output to widescreen TV, a 40 inch, and you can see pretty much everything is maxed out. There's one thing that's off: scenery, shadows, but there's extra detail. Weather, I've got set very, very low. Cloud distance, simple clouds. I pretty much just tuned that down as much as I could, really. It wanted to draw clouds on the ground, and I haven't really figured out how to. Like, I was flying through the Grand Canyon, I was going, oh, look at the fog, and that was actually these clouds that are just coming out through the mountains, and it was kind of weird. But so and very high settings for traffic. I'm not sure if it's actually responding, but and this is this shows some basic your aircraft settings. So virtual cockpit that's what it opens to, or the 2D. You can switch that. Tooltips, that will show you descriptions of switches and things that you point with your mouse. So high res 3D. Transparency is so you can look through your dashboard of your airplane. You can make it kind of glass like, so you can see through it, so you can see the ground. But mine's set to 0. And I'm using the shadowing and such, and so I just wanted to show how maxed out I have this simple laptop. Nothing extra, no fancy graphic cards. It doesn't lock up. You have to wait for the scenery to load, but okay. So we're ready to fly. So let's go to the free flight and set up a flight. And that's the plane I'm going to use, a Ryanair freeware model. And we're going to start with the flight planner. We're going to go straight to the flight planner. I know where I'm starting from, where I want to go. And it's actually already set up, but we'll go in here and start from the beginning. Select an airport. There's different ways to do it. But say I wanted to go to Denver, which I imagine is KDen. Yeah, that's it. So I just put it in the airport ID, and I got Denver. And you can also go through here and select any state, or Canada is in here. So, but we're going to go back to California. So, yeah, let's go through here and select California. And then you can, since I know the city I want, I'll just go ahead and scroll down to Los Angeles. My mouse isn't working right. Los Angeles. And I'm going to click on LAX and select where I want to start from. I don't know which gate particularly I want to go to, but I'm just going to pick one, a medium gate. So that's all we need to start from here. Okay, and it's got our destination already selected. You do basically the same thing. So I'm going to type KEDW, K Edwards, and here's one of the, when you don't get any response from, you hit clear filter, KEDW, and it brings up KE, KEE, KEE, and KEDW Edwards. That's the one we need, which it's selected at the top. So that's where we're starting and where we're going. And I'm going to select instrument flight rules. I'm using low altitude, well, high altitude airway. You have to fly over mountains. And we're going to find a route. So the computer had already selected a route for us. There's where we're starting, KLAX. And that's a waypoint, which is a VORTAC radio beacon nav aid that's along our flight path. And then finally to Edwards. Now we can add waypoints. So what we need is an approach, and we're doing a ILS landing, and which is what this cone shows us, the ILS approach. And here's also something else you need to see is on these maps you can get the ILS frequency that you need to tune to. It's radio frequency that you'll tune to a nav radio, the 110.1 ILS 22. And that's the only runway at Edwards where there is ILS. So we need to write that down or remember it. I've got this one memorized. So, but we can drag and draw the flight plan by just holding on to this the red line and moving it. So I need a point out here so we can make a turn back towards the runway. I'm just going to lay one there. And to make it, well, I don't have to make such a wild turn right here. I'm going to add an extra one. So maybe something like that so we can get turned around a little smoother towards the airport. So this, now I'm a little bit off right here. This VOR, which is named EDW or Edwards, is lined up with runway 22. So I'm gonna nudge this line over just to, it's gonna lay another waypoint. Okay, so I've got an approach lined up to my runway using the that's it. I believe the Edwards Airbase VOR is basically where this last point is. It's not the ILS. So the ILS that's a separate radio, as opposed to what the final waypoint KEW is. That's another radio, actually. But so we've got a flight plan here. I'll bring this out. Let me turn some of this off. Okay. Now I just turned off the airports and VORs and things that it was showing. Okay, that's as small as we can get. And there's the whole flight plan that we're going to fly. And we'll say, okay, well, actually, I'm going to go through and set altitudes. So I want to be a little higher. And so by there, I need to be about 9,000. Okay. Oh, okay. It doesn't let you, well, let's see. Okay. Once you select, this is just your max cruising altitude for the whole flight. This should pick up in the flight plan inside the airplane for the computer. So we need 15,000 feet to get over the mountains. And we'll save that. I've already got it saved. It'll save what we just did. And yes, we want to go to the airport listed in the flight plan. And okay, we've got a flight plan loaded. I'm going to change the time. I'm going to start at dusk. And plus a few minutes. And on in here, let's and you can actually go online. Let me show you these real quick and I'll put the links for these, the charts and stuff you need. This is flightsimcharts.com. You just type in who you want. So KDW, submit, generate flight sim chart, and there is a chart. There's the list of runways. 110 for it's the radio frequency for ILS for runway 22. It's 14,900 feet long. It's very long, and there's a very simple chart. And there's also a sky vector. Show you. And this is, I believe these are actual usable real-time charts to all the information you could ever want right here at Sky Vector. and come to the next video.